Good morning. So, when you think of DACA, what do you think? It's been in the news a lot lately because President Trump is trying to deport anybody who was born here because their parents were here illegally and gave birth to them, and who were brought here as children and have lived here their whole lives. He's trying to deport them. But what do you think of when you think of DACA? You think of Mexicans, right? Because that's what our government wants you to think of. These Mexicans that sneak into our country and give birth to children so their children can become American citizens, which the 14th Amendment guarantees. It's a birther's right. If your mama comes here and she's pregnant and she gives birth to you on American soil, you are an American citizen. And what we've been told is it's these evil Mexicans, the rapists, the drug dealers, according to Donald Trump, who sneak into our country in the middle of the night and drop their babies here so they can collect welfare and food stamps and Medicaid and be educated here. And at one point, even vote in our elections. But now we have another situation. Because you see, there are a whole bunch of people, women, pregnant women, coming here legally, in fact, paying to come to America to give birth to American children. Guess where they're from? Not Mexico. They're from Mother Russia. They're from Ruski. And guess where these women stay when they come to America to give birth to their American children? They stay in Trump-owned hotels, condos, and apartments. Yeah, they get the best. These people pay $50,000 to $100,000. They're married women with husbands in Russia who are pregnant and are being told, come to Florida, give birth to your baby in Florida, pay us $100,000, we'll set you up in the best house, the best hotels, you'll get the best medical care, and your child will be an American citizen. And nobody's batting an eyelash about it. Nobody's batting an eyelash. There is a business, an American business running in Florida right now called Miami Mama, where they actually put ads out in Russia for pregnant women to pay them money, which is all legal. They get them a visa. The State Department knows all about it. They say, oh no, don't lie to State Department. Tell them you're pregnant when you come into country. Then come to Florida, give birth to your nice American baby. We give him nice American passport. So much worth the $100,000 we're going to charge you. Now, anybody else have a problem with this? When I was a lot younger, because this film came out in the 80s, it was called America with a K. And it had a lot of great stars in it. It was a mini-series. I have it on videotape. And it was interesting because basically the film didn't get into why and how it happened, but basically it was America under the control of Russians. And basically, one of the Russian guys made a comment saying, I can't believe how easy it was to get you guys under our control. Well, now think about this. If you're a conspiracy theorist, like I can be sometimes, this is something out of some kind of a novel, right? All these Russian women are coming to America. They're giving birth to Russian children, but because they're giving birth in Florida, their children are American citizens, American passport. Guess what those children get for being born in America? Well, they can actually stay here. They can be raised here if the parents find someone to raise them. They are eligible for welfare. They're eligible for Medicaid. They're eligible for free education in the public school system. They are eligible for food stamps. And when they are 21 years old, guess what else they can do? They can sponsor their Ruski Mamashka and Babushka and all the parents from Russia to come to America. You know, some people have a problem with little Havana in Florida. Wait till there's little Moscow in Florida. Wait till that starts happening. And by the way, according to this story, it's all legal. So you got the Mexicans who are sneaking over the border to drop a baby in Texas and Arizona and Southern California. So they are an American citizen. And Trump wants to kick them out of our country because they're rapists and drug dealers. But he's supposed to not know that these Russian women are coming over here and giving birth, and while they're waiting to give birth, they're hanging out in his hotels and condos? Do you really think Donald Trump is stupid enough not to know who is staying in his hotels and why they are here? I'm telling you what, guys, I know a lot of you support Trump. A lot of my viewers have supported Trump. This is weird. It's weird because out of one side of Donald Trump's face, he says, get rid of all these illegal immigrants and these women coming over to our country to give birth to their babies, so their babies are American citizens. And on the other hand, he's letting women from Russia come here and do exactly that. It's a big deal. It's big business. This one Russian woman said, yes, we pay $50,000, but my baby has American passport worth everything in the world. It's like our gold American Express card. It's happening. It's happening. So what Donald Trump says on one hand is throw all the Mexicans out, anybody who's Hispanic out, throw the Haitians from that shithole country Haiti, as Donald Trump said last week. Throw all the Africans out from those shithole African countries, but let's let the Russian women come on in and pay $100,000 to give birth to American Russian children. Think about what could happen in 21 years. 21 years isn't as far away as you may think. In 21 years, these Russian American children, these Russian babies who are born right now, have American passports. They are American citizens. They can study here. They can live here. They can bring their families over. Even that weird uncle who wants communism back in the USSR back. They can vote in our elections. They can collect food stamps, welfare, Social Security. They're going to have to pay taxes, maybe, but their parents never pay taxes. Their parents who come here to give birth to them, they get the better medical care than tax-paying American women get who are pregnant. They get top-of-the-line medical care to deliver their Ruski American babies. And in 21 years, those Russian American babies, and there are more and more and more coming, are going to come to America, and they're going to vote. They're going to decide who our leaders are. They're going to become activists. They could even become terrorists. But they can come to the American border anytime they want because they have an American passport. But they're Russian. And they're going to be raised Russian. They're not going to be raised American. But that American passport is all these parents want. And I say this, they want them for a reason. They're looking to the future. A future where Russia is the most powerful nation in the world. Where Russia and Russian law controls every country in the world. That's what they want. That's what Putin wants. We know that. And in Trump, Putin has found a brother, a friend. I want to be friends with Putin. That would be a good thing. So let's just have all these Russian women come over here, give birth to their Ruski American babies, and let's kick all the Mexicans and the Haitians and the Africans out. Because they come from shithole countries. Like Russia ain't no shithole. Really? Any of you want to go live in Russia for a few months? I don't. Any of you want to live in a world where you don't have the freedom to speak against your government, where you don't have the freedom to type on the internet or to text who you want because the government's watching? Do you want to live in that kind of a world? Because these babies being born in Florida are going to go back to Moscow or wherever they came from in Russia. They're going to be raised communist. They're going to be raised to come back to America and tell us all what we've been doing wrong all these 200, 300 years. And they're going to try to change America. I think that's the goal. And I would like to know why President Trump and his business associates, whoever's running his businesses now, which I believe he still is, are welcoming these women from a foreign country into his hotels, into his condos, giving them a place to stay so they can birth their foreign babies in our country and make them American citizens, while he's going to kick out Elisa Delgado and Jose Sanchez and all the other Hispanic people that he wants to kick out of our country, who have actually made a contribution to it because they've been living here for so many years. They were actually raised in America. But this Russia scam, these Miami mamas, as they're called, they just want the passport. And they plan on taking that American baby back to Russia, raising him or her as a Russian, and then sending them back to America with that American passport at some point, for some reason. Something we all need to think about. I think it's important. I think it's wrong. And I think that Trump's name is all over it also should be a question that any intelligent person should be asking. I am not a fan of illegals coming here. I am not a fan, believe me, of foreigners taking American jobs from American citizens who have earned those jobs and are good at them and do them well. But because someone in India or someone in another country can do it cheaper, an American citizen loses their job. Believe me, I'm not into that. I don't like anybody coming to this country and automatically getting free education that my taxes pay for with the school systems. I don't appreciate anybody coming to this country who doesn't want to be American, who doesn't want to learn English, who thinks that people should be able to speak their language in our country, which is absolutely absurd. You go to France and you don't speak French, they laugh at you. Oh, stupid American. Can't learn a couple words of French. Can't order off a menu. We try to make these people comfortable when they're here by breathing our air, they're breaking the law. Believe me, I get that. I do get that. But once again, we can't make one rule for one group of people who are Hispanic, and then make another law for the Russians. Well, having Russian babies become American, good. Mexicans, not so much. They're just drug dealers and rapists, according to our president. They're here to cause trouble. Like the Russians aren't. Really? You know, it makes me sick, really, that we have American citizens in Puerto Rico that because they are Hispanic, and some of them don't speak English, but they're Americans, that 8 months after a hurricane devastated their island, 2 hurricanes really, are still without power and water, and our government doesn't give a shit. We have done nothing to help them. Yeah, they might have an accent, but they are Americans. They serve in our military. They pay American taxes, and they vote in our elections. They're American citizens. And they have no power and no water. Imagine you living with no water and no power for 8 months. And then your government tells you, we don't care, whatever. We'll fix it when we get to it. And then you come to find out that your government is allowing Russian pregnant women who are married. These aren't little teenagers who got pregnant and they want Americans to adopt their babies. These are married couples who said, we want our baby to be an American. So we'll pay. They got $100,000, man. For all we know, the Russian government is giving them the money. Remember back in the Olympics when everybody was so afraid, don't talk to the Russians because they're not allowed to talk to Americans. They're afraid they're going to defect. Now the Russians are helping Russian people come to America to give birth to American babies. Anybody want to know why? What has changed here? It used to be if a Russian was in America, it was bad for the Russian. Now they're trying to say, hey, you got $100,000 and you're a Russian, we'll sponsor you. You go on over, go to America, drop your kid, come on back. Your kid's an American citizen. We'll raise him the right way, in the Russian way, and then we'll send him back to America when he's old enough to do Russia some good, to work for Russia. And I'm sorry, if you think I'm nuts, believe me, I actually thought I was dreaming when I saw this show on Nightly News. And then I saw it again on other news forms. It's not fake news. And Google Miami Mamas. It's a real, legitimate business that the U.S. government knows all about. And the best thing that was said was by the guy who runs Miami Mamas. Of course, he spoke in Russian, so it was translated. Does the U.S. government know when these women come here that they are coming here to give birth to their children? Yes, yes. Because we say you have to tell truth because Americans, they love the truth. And I'm going to tell you this, the Americans haven't heard the truth since last January. Actually, Americans probably haven't heard the truth for a very long time, and we probably wouldn't know the truth if it stood up and bit us in our ass. Which is why so many Americans refuse to acknowledge what is going on in our country right now. But you don't have to take my word for it. You Google Miami Mamas. You Google these Russian whores who are coming here to give birth to their babies so they get an American passport, and they get $100,000. They pay $100,000. Where does a Russian pregnant woman get $100,000? They're being sponsored by somebody. And like the woman said, American passport, it's gold. Very much worth $50,000. American passport, worth it. Da. It is. Now let's see what they do with it. And what repercussions real American citizens who were born in this country to American citizens, what price are we going to pay? And when is our State Department going to put a stop to this? Probably not during the Trump administration. Because, of course, Trump is benefiting from this as well. Since it is his resorts and his condos and his apartments that these Russian women are residing in luxury, getting better medical care than many American pregnant women get, so that their little Russian babies can become Americans and come back in 21 years and possibly fuck us all over. Because that's what they want. That's their goal. They don't want to be friends with America. They want to control America. And this is a good way to do it. Tomorrow I'm going to be doing some comments from my YouTube channel, which is blowing up. I'm getting new subscribers every day. And most of the comments are actually about the Me Too movement and the Me Too backfire story I did. So I'm going to be discussing that tomorrow. And then Thursday there will be a show from a viewer. And it's a good one. It's interesting. So please stay tuned. Love shows and grows. I hope that you all learned something from this show today. I know I learned from researching it. For now, Political Paula is out.